everybody, and welcome to Crossing Kin in the Crossing Kin Garage. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Randy, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is, and today we return to our much beloved series, Let's Recast It. And today we are doing a much beloved film of ours with the Philadelphia Story.
This is a series that we have here at Crossing Kin that we have to say on the outset as a disclaimer. None of the films that we have fun with in recasting, we don't want to see any of them remade.
Never.
We don't want to see them remade because they're, in our opinion, as close to a perfect film as they possibly could be in their original iteration
For their time.
and never is the cover as good as the original.
Check it off your bingo cards.
Check it off your cards.
Anyway.
But anyway, and this is a film that I didn't discover until the 80s. It's been out 1939, The Philadelphia Story, an all-star ensemble cast for its time.
What's funny is that this, I think, was either this or the shortly thereafter follow-up, Bringing Up Baby, was what got Katharine Hepburn blacklisted in Hollywood there for a hot minute.
I don't know, but she and Cary Grant did 5 or 6 films together. Believe it or not. I mean, go back and double check with our friends at imdb.com just to be sure. But they had a great on-screen relationship. I'm a little surprised, in fact, that they didn't cast her for His Girl Friday. That would have been a great casting as well.
Rosalind Russell.
Rosalind Russell was so good in that.
That's a movie to talk about. This is actually a movie that has technically sort of kind of been remade before by Bing Crosby, and it's called High Society.
It is High Society.
That's a musical version. It sticks pretty close to the plot, but just with musical numbers and Bing and Fred.
And
Fred, or is it Fred, or is it Blue Eyes?
Oh, it's Sinatra. Yeah, it's Sinatra. And it is. If you watch the films back to back, you can hear the dialogue that they just brought over. And Grace Kelly is in it as well. We today are recasting a film that is probably, if you've never seen it, it is one of the funniest films you'll ever see.
Just make sure you do watch it in its context.
And yeah, exactly. Remember, it was made in 1939. There are some stereotypes in 1939 that do not play as well today. But keep that context in mind, and certainly don't have, don't have a thin skin while watching it. We love everybody here in the Crossing Kim family, and we want to warn you that there may be some things that you don't agree with. 1939 context.
All right, let's get trucking. So we've got a pretty decent cast to cast today. So let's go through our players, and then we'll start at the top and work our way down.
Sounds great.
So we've got Dexter, Tracy, Macaulay, Elizabeth, George, Uncle Willie, and Mother. She may have a name, but I've only ever been able to find her as Mother. So let's start at the top with Dexter, played by the 30s favorite leading man, Cary Grant.
He
30s and
was
40s.
in so many films, and I believe he died in the 80s, and that's really when I discovered his work. Was shortly after he died. I'd seen some films from him, but when he died, Turner TBS just started doing a Cary Grant marathon, and Tammy and I caught up on a lot of Cary Grant films. We recorded them on VHS. That certainly dates myself just a little bit. Prolific actor.
We've recasted a Cary Grant movie before. If you go back, somewhere above our heads will be mine and Dad's recast it of Arsenic and Old Lace. Definitely my favorite Cary Grant film, even though it was his least favorite.
Yeah, right. But that was one of those films brought from a stage play.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia Story is a whole new, it's a screenplay brought to film and beautifully
So let's
done.
talk the character of Dexter.
Cary Grant. DK Dexter Haven is how he's listed in some of the credits.
I think they call him Dex through
most of the call him Dex or Dexter. He is this lovable, eccentric, first of all, we need to Philadelphia. I mean, it is the Northeast. There is a lot of old money in the Northeast. Even to this day, there's old money up in that area. And so you've got to remember this character is someone who could trace his roots back to the early beginnings of the country. So it's one of those a blue blood type film that a lot of the people are a little bit highbrow. They carry themselves very, very well.
Society folk.
Exactly. And, that's they're welcome in the Crossing King Garage just like everybody else, but we're not so sure we'd be their class.
But anyway, Dexter is kind of different in that he doesn't necessarily belong with society, mostly because he used to be an alcoholic. He's a recovering alcoholic.
He basically gives the middle finger to the class that he belongs to.
Yep.
And he does
and he
it.
Revels in it.
And he revels in it.
He does it by poking his ex-wife.
And he does it with class and style.
It's mean-spirited.
Everything that his class is known for, he uses to turn upside down everything that's going on in this film.
Who's your Dexter, Daddy?
My Dexter is the prolific actor Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he pulls this off because he is so smooth. His vocals, I think he pulls off the class, non-class, as well as just being able. He needs a film like this, I think, to kind of break him out of the Sherlock Holmes, break him out of the Doctor Strange, kind of just something a little different. And this would be it for him.
Okay, my Dexter is probably an out of the box pick. I've gone with Aldous Hodge. He can clean up very, very well. He can definitely handle the serious, but he can handle the comedy like nobody's business. He gets some of the funniest parts in our favorite show, Leverage.
That was my next point. If you don't know who Aldous Hodge is, he's currently starring as Cross on the Amazon Prime show.
He was also Hawkman in the Black Adam film. He was in Hidden Figures. He has kind of been making the rounds in Hollywood, but we originally found him on Leverage, and he very quickly became one of my favorite actors. And I've been thoroughly enjoying watching his star rise since I discovered Leverage. But I think he could pull off the ribbing that he would have to do with the actress who played Tracy. I know he could pull off the smooth because he is honestly one of the smoothest. He's one of the smoothest actors on Leverage. I think Aldous could play this to the nines, and it would be fantastic.
Yep.
All right, moving right along, we have Tracy as played by Katharine Hepburn during a kind of a low point in her career. Again, I think between this and Bringing Up Baby, she somehow got blacklisted in Hollywood for a little bit and didn't really get a revival until the 50s.
She was the ultimate feminist at this point already, and she was wearing pants in films when ladies did not wear pants in films. Go and watch her in Pat and Mike with Spencer Tracy and several other films. She was that independent woman that really people, I mean, personally and on screen in a lot of ways, that people really didn't buck the system quite a bit. She, in this role, revels in her class and wants to come and be known as not that snob that most of the people on Beacon Hill are, but
they kind of call her goddess.
Still carries it off. Her past, absolutely,
a
couple of times, and so it's one of those roles that were made for Katharine Hepburn, but she really plays it very well. She plays it very well.
Who's your Tracy?
My Tracy is Bryce Dallas Howard. A couple of the things that you notice as people are as Cary Grant is talking to her throughout the film, he calls her Red. If I recall correctly.
Yeah, Katharine Hepburn had red hair.
You can't tell it on black and white, but she had red hair at the time. Dallas Howard. Okay, her beautiful red hair would certainly set that up, and I think she and Benedict Cumberbatch would play off each other very well. And again, I think this is one of those roles that she really needs because she's not had a dramedy like this to kind of stretch her character. She's done she's done the Jurassic Park things, and she's done some
More
she's
drama type
doing
stuff.
more things behind the camera now, and I think it'd be really, really nice to see her out in front again.
I think she could direct the film. She could do both.
I
would enjoy watching her direct the film.
Sure.
But my Tracy is someone that I think would just be so delicious in this role. I can't take it. I have cast Emma Stone. She looks good with red hair. She dyes her hair regularly for roles, so I have no doubt her hair would be red for this.
A la Cruella.
A la Cruella.
Yeah, she was so good in Cruella.
She was so good in Cruella. And I think this is a role, maybe not quite as mad as Cruella, but very similar. Somebody with class, somebody who also has the sharpest of sharp tongues. I think if she used kind of her Cruella voice a little bit with it, maybe not quite so British, but a little bit of her Cruella voice, I think she would I think she would be so delicious in this film.
Yeah, I think either one of those actresses could really use that in their career right now. I mean, Emma Stone's hot property, and like we said, Bryce Dallas Howard is getting behind the camera quite a bit more. But I think as either one of those guys,
I think they'd be really good. We did good on our Tracy's.
Yeah, we did good on our. I think we did good on our Dexter. So apparently, you don't like mine so much. Okay, all right.
On to Macaulay. I think they call him Mac for part of the movie.
Some of it.
This is played by Jimmy Stewart. Everybody loves Jimmy Stewart. We've recasted one of his films before as well. See our It's a Wonderful Life recast it. He's kind of supposed to be the young buck trying to make a name for himself. Yeah?
Jimmy Stewart was typecast in so many films as the everyman. And this is not really any different. This is no exception whatsoever. He is that everyman who is working.
Newspaper?
Yes. He's a newspaper writer who wants and has been a published author. And he wants to be so much more. And he finds himself really, really insulted by a lot of the class that is going on in the area, but he's more or less bribed into going into this reporting of the wedding of the century.
And he wants to turn it into an expose.
And he wants to turn it into something that really, he's working for this National Enquirer type magazine that was, I want to say, popular back in the day. And so it's, you never get away from scandal. And so it's a scandal sheet. And he's working for that, trying to write as a real author on the side. And he is just this do anything for anything kind of guy.
And he gets wrapped up with Tracy.
And he gets wrapped up in all of the drama
that's going down during, I guess, rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Wedding, dinner, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's insanity. All right, Daddy, who is your Mac?
Mine is, believe it or not, Ryan Reynolds. You're balking at this, but we've seen him in a couple of things that led me to believe that he has the acting chops. Woman in Gold, that Netflix film that we watched.
Oh, The Adam Project.
The Adam Project. Those are two films that, I think this would be a little bit more of a stretch, maybe, for him to pull back from his normal Ryan Reynolds-ish, ness. So Ryan Reynolds, he's my Macaulay. I think he could pull off the everyman. And
he also needs this.
Also needs this role.
I think he could do it. I don't love him in the role, but I think he could. My Macaulay is Freddie Highmore. He is
Malcolm in the Middle?
No. The Good Doctor.
Oh, The Good Doctor. Okay.
As a kid, he was in a bunch of Johnny Depp movies, like a bunch, at least 3, if not more. And then, gosh, a while ago, he got The Good Doctor, and I think that went for 7 or 9 years.
Yeah, something like that.
It only just ended. So I think he's about the right age. He kind of has a bit of a Jimmy Stewart look.
Yeah.
His American accent probably needs a little bit of work. But I've never heard him just try the American accent. He was doing a different kind of accent for The Good Doctor. I think he's got that almost innocence that Macaulay does have before he's thrown into the chaos and toxicity of the society.
Yeah.
And I think Freddie Highmore would be a really, really, really good.
That's Macaulay. Good, but I'm not sold on that one.
Up next we have Elizabeth Embry, originally played by Ruth Hussey.
Ruth Hussey was one of those actresses in the 30s who did a lot of supporting roles.
Mm-hmm.
She never really ever had a breakout main actress role, but she was in several things, and she is just dreamy in this film.
She reminds me a little bit of Rosalind Russell.
She is body makeup and everything, but she's not as quick witted and as out just.
Yeah, she's not as outgoing. She's a very subdued character, especially in this. That's like the one thing I always remembered about her character. Because as ashamed as I am to admit it, I didn't see the Philadelphia story from start to finish until very, very recently. I always came in and joined like at the party.
You know, she is that character that really anchors this entire film.
The long-suffering girlfriend,
you know, the craziness that is going on from
Macaulay.
high society and the insanity that's wrapped up there versus the everyman and guys pulling up their bootstraps to get what they can be. She really centers this picture, and I just realized that. And she's the chick that's chill.
Yeah, she's Macaulay's photographer. Yeah,
she's Macaulay's photographer and love interest.
Yeah, technically, they unfortunately that's probably one thing that if this ever did get remade, I would really want them to make that relationship a little bit better
known. Yeah,
either better known or just scrap it all together and just make them pals because. Yeah. It turns her into just this long-suffering, let him do whatever the crap he wants and I'll still be there. So it makes her a bit of a weak character.
Again, it was the 30s.
But it was the 30s,
the late
and 30s,
I get it.
I understand that. I fully understand that. But yeah, I think her character is the one character that would benefit a bunch from a remake.
My Elizabeth, Rachel McAdams.
That's not bad.
Body type wise, she fits. I think she can pull off the subdued role. I think Rachel McAdams from her
Sherlock Holmes.
Well, not only that, but The Notebook. She came to fame through The Notebook. And it's a very good film. I liked it a lot.
I've never seen it.
And I'm not sure you would like it, but it's okay. We saw her in Sherlock Holmes. We've seen her in a couple of two or three other things. That's right, Doctor Strange.
She and Benedict already have a decent rapport.
That's right.
So,
they do have.
I mean, they only have like a good little friendship scene here and there, but that would still be nice to bring in.
Rachel McAdams is my Elizabeth Embry.
All right. My Elizabeth Embry, I tried to cast somebody that was, closer to my Macaulay in age. Mm-hmm. I cast Haley Steinfeld.
That's good.
I loved her in Hawkeye. And yes, she is zany, but I know for a fact she can bring it down very easily. She's done a lot more of dramatic stuff. And even though this is a comedy, this character is literally the only straight man. I think Haley, between her roles in Hawkeye and her previous role with True Grit, the remake with Matt Damon, I think she would take this and she would bring a little bit of meat to Miss Embry.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I like Haley a lot. I like her acting a lot, so I think it would be a good role.
Hey, Marvel, we need her as Hawkeye.
Moving right along, we come to George, originally played by John Howard.
John Howard really didn't have as much of a career. I don't remember really even seeing him in anything other than this.
Like,
Clark Gable too.
Or Gregory Peck?
No,
Clark Gable. Clark Gable's the actor I was looking for.
He was reminiscent of Clark Gable in style, shape. I mean, he just
in voice too. He's a doppelganger.
Yeah.
But the character of George, he's Tracy's fiance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And plus, I feel bad for him for part of the movie, and then he just turns into a jerk in his last scene, and all sympathy goes out the window.
Yeah, I don't think that we established it early enough, but the Dexter and the Tracy roles, they were married and divorced. Mm-hmm. And now Tracy is she's engaged to this character who we're recasting at this point. And my guy, I've got Tom Hiddleston in this role. He has done so many diverse things from Marvel to Hank Williams
He
to
is currently starring alongside Haley Atwell in a stage production of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. At the
wow,
time of this
that's pretty cool.
recording, he is actively doing a stage play with Haley Atwell of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing.
But I think he could pull this off. I think he certainly could pull off the class type atmosphere that needs to come with George's role. Eh, but I'm like you, Kristen. This is a character. By the end of the film, you really just
And
you don't like
that's
him very
my
much, and
issue
it's
with you
okay.
casting Tom Hiddleston. I don't want to hate him. I
You
have
you
trouble hating him.
you don't have to hate him. You
I
just
have trouble disliking him.
you don't even. I mean, this character. I don't feel sorry for him at all in the whole picture. I think he's placating and sucking up to Tracy too much, and so I like Tom Hiddleston in this role.
I think
Who
he'd be
you
fun.
got?
I got Matt Smith.
Doctor
Best,
Who?
very
Okay.
good. Best known for Doctor Who. He's done a few other things. I know he was in the Morbius movie, and I think he was in one of the Terminator movies. I have seen clips of his Doctor, and I think he could pull this role off perfectly. He's just goofy enough that he uh can handle some of the more zany bits that George does get to play, but he has a decent dramatic capability. So I think Matt Smith could play it very, very well.
Yep.
All right. We're almost there. So up next we have Uncle Willie. Sorry, there's no other way to say it. That's how she says it every time he enters the picture. There's no other way to say that name. And he was originally played by Ronald Young.
Ro- Roland.
Roland Young.
Roland Young. Roland Young did Topper with Cary Grant. He is one of these character actors, probably coming from the late 20s, and he was in tons and tons of stuff in the 30s. Roland Young, the character Uncle Willie, is a masher.
I
Just
Willie.
he's drunk through most of the film, always looking for a drink through most of the film, or a tush he can pinch.
Uncle Willie is the character that is sitting back and thoroughly enjoying watching the madness unfold.
And that's true
He's
too.
Spectator character along with her sister, Dinah, I think is the name, who we're not casting because we don't know child actors anymore. But he and Dinah are literally just sitting back, watching the madness and just having in Uncle Willie's case, having a glass of sherry and being like,
So my Uncle Willie, I have Kevin Kline.
That's a good
I think Kevin Kline is over the top enough. He is he's at this point he's old enough to pull off the role very, very well. Kevin Kline is one of my favorite character actors. I think he was absolutely wonderful in Wild Wild West, which was a terrible film, but I think his role, he did exactly
He's the
what
only
he needed.
redeeming part of that
For
movie.
me, he is, yes.
He was made for Artemis.
Over the Top in A Fish Called Wanda. He was in
he was the voice of Phoebus in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
He was also in The Big Chill, which is my age's the precursor to Friends. You know, a long time coming. So it's Kevin Kline has a long Hollywood history, and I think he would be phenomenal in this masher role.
I like your pick. I do. I genuinely do. But I have gone back to my Doctor Who well. I've picked David Tennant. I think he would be so stinking good. You can't really.
I can't because I haven't seen him.
Seen him as bad guys. You've seen him in the fourth Harry Potter movie and in Jessica Jones. You cannot speak to David Tennant.
I haven't seen him in Doctor Who either. So
I've seen bits of his Doctor Who. He is perfect, and I mean, even if he was just bringing the personality that he brought to Scrooge McDuck when he was voicing him in DuckTales, he would be so good in Uncle Willie. Like, I can't even stand how good David Tennant
is. He old enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, David Tennant. It will also, my cast is a little bit younger.
I see.
Everybody can be aged down just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think David Tennant would be perfect. All right. And last up, we have Mother, the marionette master of this whole wedding.
Do they ever call her name?
I think they do at one point, but I don't remember
I think
it.
Tracy's dad actually calls her by name at one point, and maybe Uncle Willie
I don't
as
know.
well. I don't
know.
remember her
Tracy
name.
only ever calls her mother, and bless her heart, she just really wants the family to all be together for this wedding, and she wants the wedding to go well so that the family can get their name out of the mud because Tracy dragged it through the mud by getting divorced. By running away, getting married to Dexter, and then coming back and getting divorced.
And her husband
being
a little bit of a
philanderer, and it's just she really wants to fix the family's reputation by having this wedding go well.
Who's the actress?
The actress is Mary Nash.
Mary Nash. She was a well-known actress at the time too, mostly secondary characters as well, but she pulls this role as the oblivious matron of the family very well. She does a very good job just wanting everything to flow along smoothly. Or she goes with the flow better than any of the other characters.
So who's your
mom? My mom is, and this would be a very, very different role for this actress, but I think it's one that she could really do a great job in, and that's Sigourney Weaver.
Think it's that out of the box. She played a similar type character in You Again with Jamie Lee Curtis. She was the aunt of the bride, so she was kind of in that mode.
Yeah, but I think this would pull a little bit more. It'd certainly get her away from the Aliens franchise, and also away from the Ghostbusters franchise. And it'd be just a role that she could just have some fun with. She is one of those actresses that I really want to see something different from. And otherwise she's going to wind up getting typecast in as was it Reddick? What was the role in
Ripley.
Aliens? Ripley in Aliens.
She'd be able to pull a little bit from her Space Quest, Galaxy Quest. Her Galaxy Quest.
That was with Tim Allen. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, because she is a. I forgot about that. She's good in that too.
I forget about that too. I didn't see it for the first time until this year. It's not bad. It's weird, but it's weird.
You got to be a Trekkie. I mean, leave it at that.
All right.
So Sigourney Weaver is my oblivious matron.
I like Sigourney in that role. I have picked somebody who is also probably, or at least to us, is best known for being the mom role in A Space Thing. I picked Molly Parker. I know her best from being June Robinson in the Netflix version of Lost in Space. I think she did a great job in that, and her momness. Her momness is the reason I cast her. She also has red hair, so I think she would at least look like her daughter.
The only difficulty with her is that you've never seen her be oblivious. She's always got her hands in the pie. In every role that I've always seen her in.
It's part of the reason I wanted to cast her. I like casting people who get to stretch themselves.
This would be a little bit more of a stretch.
This would be a little bit more of a stretch.
Maybe not necessarily for her, but in viewing her.
And seeing her.
Absolutely.
Viewing of her. Her playing a little bit more of an oblivious character, just trying to get everything just so that everybody can be happy.
I think she could pull it off. Don't get me wrong.
I think she would do well. So
I think either of those actresses would be good in this role. Go and watch the original Philadelphia Story. And as you're watching it, think about some of these actors and actresses that we've chosen as recasting.
We did our cast as we were doing our most recent watch through of Philadelphia.
Yeah, Story, and it was kind of, and
it helped.
Tammy and Katie every once in a while chimed in. Oh, I don't know about that one. Yeah, that kind of thing. So we had the critiques in their corners, giving us their play-by-play for our crossing kin, and sometimes, most of the time, they have some pretty good ideas as well.
But that's our cast, ladies and gentlemen. So what do you guys think? Did we do great? Did we do terrible? Which of our casts do you like better? All of the normal things that we ask you for Let's Recast.
Never do we want this film remade.
Never.
Because it's perfect in its original iteration. We love doing this. I mean, this is one of my favorite episodes is Let's Recast It.
You guys would like us to recast Recast. We've still got our list going, but eventually we will run out. So please, what are some movies you guys would like us to recast? If it's something we've seen, we can definitely make that happen. If not, we may have to do a bit of research. But
or watch the film.
Watch the film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just let us know. Be sure to drop that down in the comment section below. And while you're there, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and
ring that notification bell so you know every Thursday when Crossing Kin comes to you straight from the Crossing Kin garage.
And that's it for us tonight. And until we see you again in 2 weeks, I'm Kristen.
I'm Randy. Also, keep an eye out for our shorts. Every once in a while, when we'll go see a film, we'll do a movie review coming to you straight from the Crossing King car.
Usually car.
Usually car.
Sometimes we're in the garage. It's honestly just wherever we can get it filmed.
When we're thinking about it, it's like, oh, we got to do a movie review. But check out our shorts too. We really appreciate all of you guys who checked out our Captain America short for our review on that. But we really, really, really like it when you watch all of the films.
All right, that's it. So until next time, bye.
See ya.